Hello, dwellers of the internet. Welcome back. Today, I wanted to talk about Porgs from Star Wars The Last Jedi. They are the cutest creatures ever. I love them a lot. They don't seem to obstruct the film too much for me. They seem like creatures that are more suited to a background position in the film. Like there are certain alien creatures or certain just people of note in the Star Wars universe and franchise that have been introduced at different points, whether they be background characters in a cantina scene or in Jabba's palace, or who have gotten one or two lines and just a minute of screen time, something like that. Take into consideration, people like Max Rebo, for instance, who has who had become, sort of a popular character just on the basis of his existence, really. And I don't think the Porgs are exempt from this because they do get a little bit of screen time, and they get events that feature them within the film, having to do with their communication and their instances of interaction with Chewbacca, but they they're not so interjected into the film that they provide some kind of key plot element like the Ewoks did, for instance. Because they were also random different alien creatures that resided on Endor, and they do come out of nowhere, and they serve the purpose of being cute, uh, and to appeal to the audience and to sell merchandise and whatnot. But they also not only uh, provide that outlet, but they are integral to the plot itself. Without key things that they would have done, like kidnapping Solo, Luke, and Leia, and everyone, and without them giving them shelter and providing them assistance in the battle on Endor, they wouldn't have shut down the shield generator. They were integral in pretty much the final climactic event of Star Wars, so they're on a whole different scale when it comes to the climax of the original trilogy. But Porgs, they are in the mid-film of this newest sequel trilogy, and their service to the film is comic relief, as you would expect from sort of a simple, small, cute merchandising, character. Not to say that their primary function is merchandising; it just kind of ended up that way. They People found that they were cute, even though they were designed to be unappealing to a certain extent, or graphically ugly, stereotypically, whatever you want to call that. And I think it happened to work out in that way, to which Disney realized, oh, we can make a whole lot of money off of this now that people like Porgs. So they got to designing those, mass-produced toys and whatnot extremely quickly once they had realized that Porgs had become a phenomenon. Anyways, that's not the point of this. The point is that they don't obstruct the events of the film like the Ewoks do. Not to say that I think the Ewoks are a bad part of the film, like many others would claim for Episode 6. I think when it comes to the relation of Porgs to The Last Jedi, they serve their purpose, which is to be cute and to be funny for the comic relief. Now, this, in the minds of Star Wars fans, would not only be the antithesis to what Star Wars is about, but it would completely ruin the film for them, and I get that, because it would do the same thing for me, too. I was expecting to hate Porgs upon walking into this theater, watching this film and knowing about them. Alls I knew is they had an appealing design. I liked the design from the very beginning, and I grew even more to like it as time went on. But after seeing the film, I realized they aren't really interjected into so many scenes that they become a distraction. They are just characters of note when it comes to gaining a comical laugh, or to be, something minor like a laugh that is gained semi cheaply, I guess you could say. But then again, everything they did was legitimately funny, so it's not really cheap laughs. It's just them being placed at specific moments that make them funny, which is good. And even then, their roles were just to be, uh, complimentary to Chewbacca. He's part of the several comedy scenes that involve them, where he's eating one, for instance. So they're even making fun of the fact that some people, maybe not intentionally, but they're making fun of the fact, I would like to believe, that people hate the Porgs, and so of course you would want to see a star main attraction, notorious character like Chewbacca devouring one of these so-called, merchandising ploy characters that was just introduced into the film to sell toys. So that provides some sort of non-canonical fan service sort of thing, which is, I think, makes that even more delightful. It adds to it in a meta sense, which is nice, and I think is pretty cool when you think about it. But even beyond that, just within the context of the film, they're complimentary to Chewbacca. They make you laugh. They're only there for a couple of scenes that are really played for laughs or just for comic relief when it is necessary. And I believe strategically, maybe unintentionally, but that's beside the point. They were placed at really rather correct and well spaced out times in the film. I don't think they were a detriment to it at all. They just were in the film enough to let you know, yes, we exist, Porgs are here. They didn't take up too much screen time. They didn't form any key element in the film as far as an action that would change the structure of the film, or that they didn't provide any action that triggered anything that is a key plot point in the franchise, in the film, let alone the franchise. They were simply there to be cute, to be funny, and considering their design and the physically and sound-wise, the noise they make, that's extremely appealing too. Considering effort went into creating these creatures in the Star Wars universe, they weren't just a throwaway character that they placed in the background out of nowhere with some crappy CGI. They put time and effort into it. I think that they are just fine, and I in fact like them a lot. They're just extremely cute characters. I have a plushie that my brother bought for me. It's a Porg. His name is Darth Porgus the Wise, and I love him very much. He sleeps in my bed, and he is a good friend. I like Star Wars, and I have been a fan all my life, and I do not think Porgs are bad. I do not think they are an issue or a detriment to the film. In fact, I think they are cute, and they are awesome. Anyways, see you guys next time.